everyone, my name is Jessica. I'm here to talk to you about why I believe kids should not receive participation awards as they are not beneficial to our children. For my audience today, I have my two people on video phone here. I have my dad over here, my daughter, and my son.
Hello.
Here, please hold that. First off, I'd like to say most of our sports organizations have adopted the Everybody is a Winner policy. And the reason I am here to talk to you is to discuss the pros and cons of participation awards, how the kids need to learn instead of just receiving an award just because they showed up, and also about that winning is actually really beneficial for anyone, and especially for our children who need to learn from different things. On the left here, I have all the pros listed. I will just kind of briefly go over them. One pro is participation awards are believed to boost confidence, meaning every kid is always given an award, so they are always getting that praise, saying, great, you did an awesome job, and so forth. Number two, participation trophies give young athletes something to play for. Again, it goes along the same as confidence. These kids go to practices, go to games, and at the end of the season, you get a cool award that says, great job, you were here. Number three, it encourages younger children to try new things. While I don't actually go for this, and even the study I found it on said it is far from the truth, that yes, it gets kids to try new things, but it also gets kids to try things that their parents are, in a way, forcing them to. They may not actually want to do that, but their parents are the ones that signed them up for that. And it allows everyone to play without competition. A lot of kids fear competition. They fear conflict. So by going in and knowing, hey, we're not keeping score, there is no winner, there is no loser, it seems like it's more beneficial towards the children. Now let's talk about the downfalls. Participation awards do not reward the right goal. With that saying, we give an award for saying, awesome, you came, you showed up, here you go, here's an award. Now, there isn't any type of, the winner is getting a certain type of award, or hey, you showed great sportsmanship this year, you're the most improved kid this year. That would be a different type of award that I would definitely recommend. Participation awards don't reward proper effort. Again, who signs our kids up for sports? Parents do. So basically by giving a participation award, we're saying, good job, mom and dad, grandma, whoever signed you up for sports, you know how to sign your kid up for basketball per se. Some more negative aspects. It neglects the effort of a winning team. So by us giving everyone the same award, whether you lose or win, the winning team who actually worked their butts off, worked for their hardest, and prepared for everything, they get the same reward. So that actually goes against a lot of what organizations are trying to build. Basically, now the next aspect is, it is actually really beneficial for children to work for the reward. With that said, when we put our kids in sports, or when parents put kids in sports, we want them to grow. We want them to grow as a person. We want them to be prepared for the real world. And by us just handing off an award and saying, great, you came, you did a good job, even though you didn't really make any progress, you kind of never showed up for practice, but hey, here's an award. To me, that doesn't seem very beneficial. In the real world, when you quote unquote suck at your job, or you are lazy at your job, you don't show up half the time, what's going to happen? You're going to get fired. And that should be the same with our sports. We should push our kids to do better. We want to see them grow. We want to see them grow in something that they're interested in. So for example, my son played soccer this year, and yes, they did hand out participation awards, but he also grew. my son, unfortunately, knows the fact that participation awards are just that. And that's another part of the study here, is that between the ages of 4 and 5 and plus, kids will start to know the difference between participation award and whether they're good at something, whether they're bad at something. But we as parents and as sports organizations, or any organizational sport or program, we should be striving these kids to better themselves. And by providing a participation award, we're not giving that push forward. These kids are learning to settle. I'm a winner regardless. I'm going to get this trophy regardless if I'm good or not. And a lot of people do find that beneficial, but I'm here to say how it's not. And by telling our kids that just be good, just do whatever you want, we're not setting them up for success. We're setting them up to be on a straight line. We're not raising the bar. We're not pushing them forward, and we're not doing all this stuff to really progress our kids in many ways.
Stop.
While participation awards are encouraging, they also don't represent reality. Like I said, you're not contributing to the greatness of your team. You're not pushing yourself to be better. Our kids want to be good at these sports, but we're giving everyone the same awards, so what do kids have to strive for? Stop, Devin. Don't rock. So we just need to make sure the kids want to work for these awards. They need something that shows, I've worked for this award, I earned this, I didn't just show up, I earned this, I worked really hard, I pushed and I pushed and I pushed. And that goes with the same with the other aspect of when a winning team gets the same award as a losing team, how does that make the winning team feel? That we put in all of this effort, we put in all of this hard work, and we trained and we trained and we fought and we beat all these other teams only to get the same award as the losing team? To me, that doesn't seem fair, and it shouldn't be like that, because this team learned. They grew as a team. Each individual player grew as a player, and they were able to show that by winning and being great at what they are. And so that is also non-beneficial towards the winning team. And it's not fair to treat every player the same if they've really worked hard and proved themselves over and over. There was also a show on HBO. It's on their sports line. It specifically said that awarding trophies to all kids can have a negative biological impact. The technical term is partial reinforcement extinction effect. All that means is that if you constantly reward a kid, you spoil them. And you don't build the capacity for them to be resilient to frustration. In short, protecting kids from agony of defeat blunts their competitive edge and never teaches them to properly deal with adversity. So by not setting that bar and by only giving participation awards, we're really damaging our children and saying, and when they do finally go out into the real world and they get their job and they fail at that could shut them down even more and send them down into a spiral of, say, depression or self-worthlessness, something along those lines. And as parents, that's not what our goal to be, it's not what we want to teach our kids. And that should be the same with sports organizations. They don't want to tear down the children, but the sports organizations have a goal, and part of their philosophies are to teach and bring up the kids, and I feel that participation awards are not doing this. The next X factor we're going to talk about is how losing is actually very good for you and your children. Losing, when you think of people who lose, for example, me, if I were to lose at something or I'm not given the recognition I feel I deserve, it's going to make me work harder. It's going to make me push and strive and figure out what it is I need to do with myself or the things around me to become better at this so I can be good. Overconfidence actually blinds a person from his faults and prevents growth. So by giving every child a participation award, we're actually showing everyone that this is how life is going to be. They're going to be rewarded for everything they do, and that there's no real aspect to strive to be better. There was an author named Ashley Merriman. She was the author of Top Dog, The Science of Winning and Losing. She said, handing out trophies undermines the kids' success. The benefit of competition is actually winning. So why we all get into competitions and play sports and go into bowling leagues or pool leagues is we want to win. We are competitive by nature, and that's what we strive to do, is to win. The benefit is improving when you're constantly giving a kid a trophy for everything they've done. You're basically saying, as a parent, if you're rewarding this system of constantly giving your children awards, you're basically saying, I don't care about your improvement. I don't care that you're not learning from your mistakes. And we expect you to be a winner all the time. Everyone's not a winner all the time, and we need our kids to know this, that they're gonna fail sometimes. But as parents and coach organizations, we can be there to pick them back up. That's what we need to teach our kids, not that you're always a winner. Retrieving too many trophies has created an atmosphere where everyone gets a trophy, but awarding medals and trophies just for participation sets the bar very low. Our job is to help kids overcome setbacks, to help them see that progress over time is more important than a particular win or loss, and to help them graciously congratulate the children who have won. So at the end of a sports organization game, you always see the kids line up, shake hands, good game, good game. That, I believe, is very beneficial. We need to always be sportsmanlike in the sports, and each kid needs to congratulate the winner, whether they lost or won. Know that because they won, they have strived. They've worked really hard for that. That doesn't mean every child needs a trophy. The bottom line to me is that youth sports and organizations have set values and missions that they strive to teach kids. But by handing out particular participation awards, they are far from this. A study I also read said that the trophy industry, since we have adapted the everyone is a winner policy, the trophy industry has boomed by over $3 billion. Each sports organization spends about $2,000 to $3,000 per season to buy participation awards. In my opinion, and I've also read another study where a former coach of a Little League baseball team said the money could have been spent otherwise. We could have, with the $2,000 to $3,000 every season, that money could be spent towards the coaches to get better training. It could be on better equipment for safety for our own children. There's better means to spend this $2,000 to $3,000, $3 billion a year on something else to benefit our kids than a plastic trophy that, honestly, if you were to go in 90% of American homes where kids have played sports for a few years, trophies and medals and ribbons sitting on a shelf full of dust, full of, they've been sitting there, and you ask the child, what's this award for? They're going to be like, well, I played football. No, but if we were to give an award out for best sportsmanship or, best attendance at practice, most improved player of the year, stuff like that, that trophy's going to stick out more to that kid, and that kid's going to talk about that trophy. I worked so hard this year at football. I was able to, when I first started, I was so scared, and then I worked and worked and worked, and now I sacked the quarterback 20 times the rest of the season. They know in their head that they worked really hard and they got recognized for that award. That's what I feel is beneficial. Other than a participation award, there really has no significant meaning and isn't teaching our kids to better themselves and in preparation for the real world. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this and listen to my speech. I have listed the references here. And I thank you guys so much. Thank you for pushing stop.